Hello there, my name is Anna Amelia and I'm from Northeast Animal Rights. Welcome to another one of our Saturday Spotlight interviews, and I'm delighted to have along Prashanth from Veganuary India. He's the director of Veganuary India over there. So welcome and thank you very much for agreeing to do this for us.
Yeah, lovely to be here, Anna, and thanks for having me on the show.
You're very, very welcome. So the question I ask everyone really at the start is, can you tell us about your vegan journey and how you became vegan?
Well, it's interesting, and um, it's a story that started in my childhood. I think I was fortunate to have the chance to interact with all sorts of animals, not just dogs and cats, but farmed animals like cows, buffaloes, rabbits, pigs, chickens, in my grandfather's farm, and that's where we used to go and hang out during all our vacations,
Yeah.
and that helped me develop a bond with animals and nature. But of course, at that time, I was oblivious to the fact that they were being used for human consumption. But that was important for me to connect with nature and develop a bond with animals. So I went on and trained myself as an ecologist, and I was working in some of the conservation organizations, including the Worldwide Fund for Nature in India. And soon I saw that the way we look at farmed animals and wild animals is really different for no reason at all. So they have the same capacity to feel pain, suffer,
Yeah.
and are equally keen to continue living a life of relative comfort and not being harmed. So I saw the inherent sort of difficulty with the speciesist approach, and gradually saw that a lot of challenges with wildlife conservation, habitat loss, land degradation are all linked to the way we treat animals and we farm animals. So that made me shift. It's been a journey of learning. Um, and I gradually shifted to being completely plant-based and vegan. Um, and uh, and because my own journey has been that of connecting with nature and that of seeing my own inherent you know flaws in understanding the way we look at animals.
Yeah.
I bring that compassion to my advocacy, and when
Yeah.
I talk to people about trying vegan, we're not
Mm.
judgmental at Veganuary, and we say try vegan, and it's a journey, and we'll support you.
Yeah.
That's been my journey too. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of us assume that like a large part of India is already at least vegetarian, so it should be relatively easy to take the next logical step. Is that the case?
Well, I find it rather funny when this is the assumption that most of the Western world has about India,
Yeah.
at least. It is far from truth, and most of India is not vegetarian, and there are particular pockets of the country, regions where meat eating is extremely popular, extremely culturally ingrained, and a way of life.
Yeah.
Um, and also increasingly, because the country as a whole, we are becoming more prosperous, the per capita income is rising, there's more keenness towards doing the fun things and eating more expensive foods, which are
Yeah.
animal based, meat and dairy, and exotic foods. So yeah what However, in even the most heavy meat eating regions in the country, people are vegetarian seasonally, I would say. Something like Lent, when they don't
Yeah.
eat meat during certain days of the week or
Yeah.
certain periods of the year,
Yeah.
something like that. So that is a common occurrence here in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
And when people are vegetarian, again, there is a lot of dairy consumption, right? And in India, which is the top dairy producer in the world and the fourth largest exporter of beef, while there are no exclusive beef farms. So all of this is connected to what dairy farming, right? So because of the vegetarianism and the dairy consumption associated with it. So as you would see, I mean, all the animals being killed, all the leather being produced, all the milk being produced is directly linked to
Yeah.
exploitation of animals.
Yeah.
And and dairy being so closely associated with religion and culture,
Yeah.
it's a tricky thing to make people see the connection between um, the meat exports, the leather, the abuse in dairy farms, to their own vegetarian but very heavy lifestyle of vegetarianism.
Yeah.
But we're getting there, and I think we're making good progress in terms of making
Yeah.
people see the inherent cruelty,
Yeah.
and it's a process,
Yeah.
and it will probably take time. And will hopefully persuade more people to shift from dairy to plant-based dairy.
Yeah. So really not that much different to the UK, because obviously we have pockets of places where they would be more likely to be open-minded and to look at a plant-based diet part of it anyway. Um, but so obviously that assumption that a lot of us make is completely wrong then. So what's the animal rights movement like in India, and what are the main issues for you over there?
Well, I would say the animal rights movement in India is really diverse, and it has grown quite a lot in the last 10 years. In the last 10 to 12 years, of which I've been part of. Let me ask you this: what's the one sort of image of an animal that comes to your mind when you say India?
India, probably cow.
Exactly, right? So, and probably a cow on the street in a busy market street or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's probably the most important aspect of the animal rights movement in
Mm.
India. Street animals, right?
Yeah.
Not just cows, but also um, pigs and street dogs and cats,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So, and that's in your face, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're a tourist or you're a person living in India, street animals are everywhere, and therefore there are a lot of groups who are working on rescue, rehab of
Mm.
street animals, and rehoming of finding homes for street dogs.
Mm.
Um, but at the same time, um, the bigger issue is that of farmed animals, like you said,
Mm.
cows on the street.
Mm.
I mean, like, why are they there in the first place?
Yeah.
It's because, they are useless for the dairy industry and they're
Yeah.
discarded. And specifically because of these tricky laws in particular states against killing of cows, because again, they're looked at in certain places as a holy animal.
Yeah.
So they're just discarded, right? And they end up roaming the streets, getting run over by vehicles and eating plastic and living a horrible life. So I think that is, for me, uh, um, a bigger part of the animal rights movement in
Mm.
India.
Mm.
Um, I do sort of appreciate all the groups which are, sort of doing um, the rehoming and rescue and treatment and medical care for all the street animals, especially the, the dogs and the kittens. But the dairy animals which are on the street, the farmed animals, are a more intricate issue, which
Yeah.
is tied to again the culture of,
Yeah.
the holy cow and them not being allowed to slaughter. It's also given rise to the issue of, animals being smuggled across the border for slaughter in different countries or places where it is
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah.
So it's a larger issue, and I think the solution to it is really better regulation of the way, right now animals are treated in dairy farms. Number one. And number two is, of course, people making an active choice to, not eat uh,
Yeah.
meat, right? Not consume products from, animal foods, whether it's meat or milk or eggs,
Mm.
etc. And that's where I think many groups are involved in
Mm.
education, awareness, and outreach,
Yeah.
and providing support. I think you can have all the information in the world about how it is cruel to eat animal products. But if you do not have the support, as I did have a group of people who I could consistently be plant-based with. It is
yeah,
difficult. So the movement has a lot of groups which are involved in education, awareness, and outreach about plant-based eating. And I think that's the future too, and
yeah.
it will be more and more popular in the coming years.
Yeah. So, huge issues, I suppose, and, like really, really big tasks. I suppose, I mean, in the UK, I mean, we still have the issue with overfarmed animals and how they're perceived. We also have the added issue of fox hunting, which is still going on, even though it's against the law. We have lots of issues. I suppose some of them are unique to the UK and some of them are actually very similar to, it's like you said, the perception of how farm animals are treated. But in the UK, Veganuary is it's almost part of the language now. Most people know what Veganuary is. We have a number of national events which happen where people, like Dry January, where people will stop drinking alcohol because they've been overindulging in the festivities. So, how well known and how well received is Veganuary in India?
Yeah, I had the chance to travel to UK earlier this year, and I could see how popular Veganuary is, and it almost made me so envious that it's almost a household name and it's everywhere. It was really good to see that. And in India, Veganuary launched officially in 2021. So we have run two January campaigns in 22 and 23, and at least eight smaller campaigns here in India. And both years, we've got record participation for our 31-day challenge, along with a lot of media attention. The press is very keen on what's happening right from the month of November, which is World Vegan Month. And it reports on the exciting new activations for our January campaigns, be it our outdoor advertising campaigns in India, a new content that we develop for participants, or the celebrities who are supporting us. And
Yeah,
speaking of celebs, again, we have 10 celebrity ambassadors from
yeah,
India who are vegan,
yeah,
and they are from different fields. They are Bollywood stars, musicians, professional athletes, and mountaineers. And they're so generous in their support and help us reach millions, literally millions of people
yeah,
with the message of plant-based eating.
yeah,
And to add to it, again, the response from we have an active corporate outreach program, and about 150 companies have so far participated in Veganuary in India, and they have introduced new menus, special offers, new vegan product launches, and these brands include Baskin Robbins, for example, Hard
right.
Rock Cafe, and some of the biggest retail chains in India.
Yeah.
So I must say the response has been quite promising in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say that I was going to ask you which companies you have on board, because obviously having celebrities and also having the support of companies is absolutely vital for the work that you're doing. So if you have companies like Baskin Robbins and Hard Rock, I mean they are very well known. I mean internationally known. So that's congratulations. I mean that must be a good thing for you. Um, so in terms of numbers and things, I mean, you're saying obviously that Veganuary India is relatively new, and Veganuary UK is now 10 years old. So do you keep an eye on the numbers of sign-ups, and how do you support people through the months? Is it kind of similar in terms of, I know in Veganuary UK, it's, they get recipes and they get advice and support every single day. Is that what happens over there?
Veganuary is modeled around the sort of a broader template, but of course, regionally we adapt
Yeah,
the support content as 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 is relevant for the local conditions. Speaking of numbers, again, more than 150,000 people, like I think I mentioned this before,
yeah,
have tried vegan with us
yeah,
in the last 2 years.
yeah,
And I mean, Veganuary's track record is that, about 28% of the people who try vegan with us
uh,
remain vegan even after 6 months. So that's a really good percentage, and we're happy about that. And we would definitely like to increase that to
yeah,
100%. So we provide more than, in India specifically, we provide more than 10 free resources to support people who try vegan with us. either formally through signing up on our sign-up page or informally through accessing all the free resources that are available on in terms of the podcast series. There is a YouTube series which you can watch for 31 days. Small short videos that will help you along the way to stick to your vegan journey. And of course, the 31-day everyday emails for 31 days is standard, and we include a lot of information on how to talk to friends and family, eating out, where to shop, stocking up on groceries, etc. And there's a bunch of about 11 free meal plans that people can choose from. And this year specifically, we've developed a gluten-free and millet meal plan and something called a crust-free meal plan for those people who want a quick and easy meal fix, right? So with Indian nutritionists specifically, and those recipes are very well suited for sort of how Indians like to cook and the ingredients available here, the locally, sort of popular available grocery items. And of course, there's again content from our ambassadors, influencers. There's a recipe page with hundreds of recipes that people can try at, and with each email on every day, people get two new recipes. And also our blogs answer some of the most popular, the most commonly asked questions about veganism. What about B12? What about omegas? What about, all the micronutrients? Where do I get right protein from? All of these questions. So I must say we really have all the bases covered. Like, I don't know of any other program which offers so many quality and free resources for anyone who wants to try vegan. And it's really a nice journey. There's no judgment. It's all support and hand-holding. So I would encourage anyone who's not or who's keen on veganism or a plant-based diet to try it out.
Yeah, I think it's an encouragement you're saying that that you have so many people signing up, but also so many stay vegan after. I mean, 28% after 6 months. That's a really, really high number, and that's so. And obviously, those people will encourage other people next January to do what they've done, and they are all constantly sort of like acting as role models of how easy it can be. I think the support that you mentioned there is absolutely vital, because when I was vegan, when I went vegan a long, long time ago, I think it's about 18 years ago now, I wasn't really sure. I didn't really know many other vegans, but also I didn't really know what to do. So I kind of went out to the shops and just bought loads and loads of stuff. And a lot of the stuff I never used, all these herbs and spices. And I just thought, some of them, I would say they're still sitting there now, but they're not. but they were there a long, long time before I realized I'm never going to use this. These are the things that I'm definitely going to use. So I think having somebody else to ask these almost daft questions to, it's really important. And like you said, it's with no judgment. And that's vital as well, because I think a lot of non-vegans do feel judged by vegans because they see us as making a judgment against their life choices. So I think it's really, really good what Veganuary does and what you're doing over there in India as well. So if someone is listening from a country where I know that Veganuary, when I've talked to Tony, that it's actually all over the world now, and they have they have a good few chapters in different countries. So if somebody is listening in a country where they don't have a Veganuary chapter and they want to either take part themselves in Veganuary or they want to set up a new chapter, what would your advice be?
You rightly pointed out that Veganuary is there in almost all countries, except I think North Korea, where there's no internet. Apart from that, we are there everywhere. We get participation from all the countries of the world every year. So apart from officially being present in 9 countries, we are also working with partner organizations in many more. And so if you would like to, start a new chapter, please write to us at info@veganuary.com. And we've got a person who is specifically handling partnerships, our head of our global head of partnerships. So they'll get back in touch with you, and probably we can be a new country for Veganuary.
So watch the space. So hopefully next year there'll be even more countries taking part. And I'm sure they will, to be honest. I mean, it's only going to get bigger and better. So, so when we catch up in another year, I'm sure that will be the case.
Yeah. I want to add one more thing that, like you mentioned, all the people who are trying vegan with us, I mean, are also recommending it to their friends and family. We do this, survey of participants every year, and 98% of the people who respond to the survey say that they would recommend Veganuary to a friend or family member. So you're right that because we are non-judgmental and enabling, it creates a positive ripple effect, and probably people who are trying vegan are influencing more people to do that as well.
Yeah. So I know that obviously January is really, really busy for you. I mean, I know you've been absolutely flat out for probably months ahead as well. But so when January ends, what's next for you?
Oh, collectively as an organization, I think we take a deep breath.
Yeah.
That's what we do first. And yeah, there's a lot of review and looking back at how the campaign went. We do this with uh, with the utmost professionalism, keeping it positive and encouraging for everyone. But we also, go about the campaign right from the planning, the execution, and the monitoring and evaluation in a professional way, because we want to ensure we get the most bang for the buck and we have the most positive impact for all the work we are doing. So there's quite a bit of time we spend on review and looking at the campaign, and we use that information to plan the next few months.
Yeah.
And what happens throughout the year, apart from January, is really we run focus week that, say for example, are called one is the chicken free week, fish free week, a dairy free week. In India, we run something during the festival period, which is typical to India. Other countries do their own thing, like a barbecue week or something like where that's relevant. So these focus campaigns, really week-long focus campaigns, really help people to focus on that one particular aspect. Oh, I can do everything, but I can't give up cheese. So when in the dairy free week, see what options you have. Like again,
Yeah.
companies are participating with
Yeah.
alternate cheese options and plant-based dairy, etc. So use that week to focus on that one particular weak point if you have, and that's what we are doing for the rest of the year. And before you know it, it's already November, and it's time for January
Yeah.
again.
I know I was when I was talking to Tony, it's like you have a short time in March to take a couple of holidays and that's it. The rest of the year it's just flat out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
a really fun campaign, and I'm really I really am grateful for the team that we have globally. We are a young, enabling, fun, and happy bunch, and
mm,
I haven't worked with a sort of coordinated and happy set of people. I think it
mm,
reflects in the work we do, and also the satisfaction of the work we do also reflects on
yeah,
how we feel about ourselves.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're coming to the end of our time together, so I want to say a massive thank you and more power to you and your team over in India. It's amazing work that you're doing, and we really really pleased to be able to promote what you do and also take part in it. We have a huge advert which we pay for, but with our group in a local superstore car park, and Tony helps us with the graphics for that. So we have a huge so it's dedicated. When it comes to 1st of January, we all rush down there to have a look at the advert, and we absolutely love it. And it is a really positive month to be a vegan. It's just great. So I'm gonna sign off that now, and I know we're going to keep in touch, which will be absolutely great for us as well. So thank you very much for taking part in this interview. Really, really do appreciate you giving up your time. And I'm going to let you get back to your very, very busy schedule for today. So I'm going to sign off and say this is Anna Amelia talking to Prashanth. I still can't say it. Maybe next time I talk to you, I'll have your name right. Sorry. In
We
Veganuary
usually
India.
say that Veganuary, the toughest part of doing it is actually pronouncing it.
Pronouncing it,
So
I know.
you just added. So
I know you're right. I know
I'm living up to it.
right. I know we had Veganuary, people didn't know, but now it's part of the language. So, so anyway, thank you very much for your patience and kindness, and really, really love talking to you. So I'm going to sign off now and say thank you very much and goodbye for now.
Thanks, Anna. Really nice being on the show. Thank you so much.